Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love. Look, I want to talk to you today about the one who got away. Now, before I get into my business or my story time, think about this. When you talk about the one who got away, when you talk about your own experience, is it really the one who got away? Or is it the one that you can't stop thinking about? There's a difference. Ponder on that. Let me get me some water. Okay, so is it the one who got away, or is it the one you can't stop thinking about? Is it the one that always crosses your mind? The one that you were just ecstatic about, head over heels about, but really and truly you knew that that was the one you didn't have any business with? And we always sometimes like to say that's the one that got away. That's the one we ain't had no business with. That's the one that was not for us. But we swear down that was the one that got away. Or is it just me? Is it just me that swear down that the one that I didn't have any business with is the one that got away? Y'all tell me. Let me tell you something. Whew. Sometimes we have relationships that we base other relationships on. And I do. I'm guilty of it. Because, first of all, let me tell you about this relationship as a child. My dad didn't beat me. My father didn't beat me. My father didn't yell and cuss and stuff at me. I didn't get that as a child. So I can't accept that as an adult. I can't have a relationship where the man is disrespecting me, fussing, cussing, talking down on me, to me. I can't do that, okay? So I'm used to a certain type of respect, and I give it back. Okay, so when you find someone that actually fits the bill, that does that, that respects you, that cares about you, how you feel, your wants, your needs, and everything, we tend to stick to that or kind of like a magnet. We want more of that. That's the person that we desire. Okay. And sometimes what we do is ignore the red flag. So we ignore the fact that this person, and I'm coming from my point of view. So we ignore the fact that this person is a womanizer, right? We ignore the fact that this person goes away for days and we don't know where they are, but yet you're in a relationship. We ignore a lot of red flags because we see them treating us the way that we desire to be treated. Okay, but then what happens when things happen and we're not approving of those things, like the cheating and all that? Okay. We ignore a lot of that stuff and we swear that this person is the one that got away. But really, this is the person that has basically came with poison. This is the one that we had no business with. This is the one that actually was going to cause us a lot of misery. See, I always say rejection is protection. And so when those type of relationships that we can't get out on our own, when we're actually released for those type of relationships, whether it be that individual or just by chance. With me, a lot of times it was by chance because I either was relocated or, went to another duty station or moved from a state because the relationship was doomed. And then those are the relationships that I'll be like, oh, that's the one that got away. And I was just thinking about the one that got away. And when I think about the one that got away from me, let me explain to you how he was, okay? This is him, okay? I met him at a gym because, believe it or not, I used to be hooked on working out. I used to be hooked on the gym, hooked on, weights, hooked on running, I was hooked on the bike, hooked on working out. Always had to get my cardio up because that's the only way I could keep my weight down. Running used to keep my weight off of me. And so I met him at the gym. And we didn't kick it off right then. It was maybe a month or two later, you know, that we actually started talking and whatnot. And this guy was so nice and so sweet, so gentle. I mean, he was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And then on top of all of that, he was so handsome. He had a nice build and everything. It was just like, tall, 6-something, you know. Just everything that I liked, that's what he was. And I'm like, this is it right here, you know. And like I said, he spoiled me, so attentive, whatever I wanted, the things I need, the way he spoke to me. We didn't argue. None of that stuff. But yet, there were red flags. And I'm not going to go into the red flags, but trust me, there were red flags. And but I ignored the red flags because there were more green flags. There were more things that I liked about him that I didn't like about him. And because there were red flags, really and truly, that was not the one that got away. That was the one that I shouldn't have been with, you know, but I overlooked the red flags because there were so many green flags. And I would always say that's the one that got away. But knowing in my heart, that is not the one that got away. Now, honestly, y'all, I ain't never had one that got away. I've never had one that got away. I was always protected. I was always separated from those ones with red flags. I really was. And I'm grateful for that, because I would rather be alone than to live through misery. I would rather be alone to have hell on earth. I'd rather die alone. And I know some people don't feel that way, and I'm sorry that, you know, if I offend you, but I really, truly, I don't want to go through any turmoil and I'm supposed to be happy, because I'm happy by myself right now. I am, you know. And when I say I'm happy by myself, I can find time to amuse me. If y'all understand what I'm saying. I can find temporary companionship, you know, somebody go out on a date, somebody, you know, just to talk to. That's good for now until I can find something permanent. But I don't want to go through any turmoil just to say that I'm happy, just to say that I got a man. I'd rather be by myself. It takes a lot for a person to say that, because there are some people out there who cannot be alone. So they settle for certain things. I think I told y'all before, I was talking to a young lady. She wasn't much younger than me, but I was actually dating somebody, and we were dating. He would come to my house and he would leave. You know, I'd go to his house and I would leave. There was no shacking up. There was none of that. We were dating, and she was like, oh, it's just something to see how y'all dating and all that stuff. And I was like, well, what do you do? She was like, oh, when I meet a guy, he my man, we live together. I said, so y'all move in instantly? And she was like, yeah, if I meet him, we together. And she just moved him into her house. And for the life of me, I could never be that way, because, see, I have to give the relationship time to make sure that I like the individual, to make sure that I want to be around the individual. There are so many times we just jump into relationships and then we find out 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 days later that we don't even like the person. And then what you do, you already got them in your house. Would you just try to make it work? The toxicity of that, I mean, it's ridiculous. Can you imagine fussing all the time because you just are not compatible? You got to take your time. And then these are the people, these toxic relationships, these individuals, these are the people we like to say, that's the one that got away. No, think about the relationship. Think about how toxic it was. Think about when, you know, you was at your lowest point in that relationship. Think about that. Is he or is she really the one that got away? You feel like that was something that you wanted to deal with for a long term? Or do you feel like it was best to end it while you were there? You know, it was good while it lasted, you know. And so with me, I'm going to tell you about me. I have to have, now I'm going to give y'all a little hint. The man that's with me has to have a lot of patience. So he has to like me. He has to like me first. Okay? Then he has to love me. Have you ever loved somebody but you didn't like them? If you love somebody and you don't like them, you won't have patience with them. So the person with me has to like me first. Then he has to love me. Because I am altogether a test. I am a test. I'm going to push the limits. I'm going to. And he has to have patience with me. And in order to have patience with a person, you have to like them. For real. And then I'm not talking about, you know, your job and you got to have patience with their employees and this, that, and the other, or the employer. No, I'm talking about a relationship, a man and a woman, you know. You have to like the individual to have patience with them. And he is going to have patience with me. If a man does not have patience with me, I will end the relationship. Because if he don't have patience with me, he don't like me. And I'm not going to be with anybody that does not like me. Because I know that I'm a mess. I know that I would test the waters. I know that I would say stuff. I know that I would do stuff. And he has to have patience. He has to have patience. And then you start saying, okay, so is this one-sided? No, it's not one-sided. As long as he's the patient person and he know how to talk to me. You can't just come out and talk to me and say, don't do this and I don't want you doing this and you better not do this. That's not patience. That's not being patient with me. You got to pull me to the side and you have to say, I need for you to listen to me. I need for you to do this for me. I want to bring this up to you. I want to put this in front of you. I want you to kind of understand this. That's how you got to talk to me. You can't tell me what to do. You cannot tell me what to do. It's like telling a hard-headed child what to do. They're going to be rebellious. You can't tell me what to do. You have to talk to me. Okay? And in return, I will talk to you. And so that's what a lot of people don't understand. Women don't respect a man just because he's a man. Women respect men who acts or shows that he's a man. Okay? Make it make sense. We don't respect a man just because he's a man in a relationship. We respect a man who shows that he's a man. Who knows how to handle us gently but firmly. Who knows how to speak with us or speak to us gently but firmly. And in return, he gets respect. Who knows how to listen to us and respond to us appropriately. Not shut us off because he really don't want to hear it. I mean, even if he just said, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let's go back to that. Let's table that conversation. You earn our respect. Instead of saying, I don't want to hear it. It's over. It's done. It's this. It's that. Just cut it off. You're not going to get our respect. Okay? I'm trying to tell you. You have to train yourself on how to treat us. As we have to train ourselves on how to treat you. And how to respond to you. Okay? So with me, the person that I always say is the one that got away had a whole bunch of red flags. I'm going to tell you the truth. He had a whole bunch of red flags. And even when I met him again in life, not only did he have the red flags that he had more red flags, you know. And even though I still had that attraction to him, even though I wanted it to work, I knew I couldn't. I knew that was one that I had to completely let go. I had to say that was, or he was, my next lifetime. Y'all know that song? I guess I'll see you next lifetime. Maybe we'll be butterflies. I guess I'll see you next lifetime. Oh, that sounds so divine. Yeah, my next lifetime. Because this lifetime, we just weren't compatible. Those red flags was flying all over the place. And I couldn't just ignore them. And neither could he. Because it would be a disaster. It would be a disaster. You know, I had red flags too. I would say I had red flags because I was way worse than I was when we dated. Because for one, I was already, you know, spoiled. And then you're talking about, at this age now, I'm used to being pretty much by myself. That's a red flag for some. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm older and you're going to have to work with me. Because I'm used to being by myself. A lot of people don't want to take the time to have to work with me. Because I told y'all I'm a test. I'm a piece of work. But what I'm trying to say, when I say the one that got away, I'm really trying to get us to look at, is that really the one that got away? Or is that the one that we wanted, but we knew wasn't good for us? We knew that relationship wasn't healthy. We knew that was the one that we shouldn't have been with. The red flags were everywhere. And if that's so, that was not the one that got away. I call this guy the one that got away, but he was not the one that got away. He was the one that I should not have been with, along with the rest of them. I mean, thanks to social media, we can connect with people that we once were connected with years ago. And I connected with another one. And he was the same liar that he was over 20 years ago. Heck, over 30 years ago, the same liar. And me being me, I called him out on it. And, you know, I used some good words on him, you know, to let him know that I remember that you used to do the same thing back when you was in your 20s, man. You didn't grow up. You didn't grow up. You still doing that. That's what we doing. You know, so you pay attention. Don't just jump into something because you was used to it. Because I used to see him. I used to date him. Pay attention. Give him 30 to 90 days. And see how it pans out. Because everybody is not the one that got away. Sometimes it's the one that you should have gotten away from. Huh? Yeah. Sometimes it's the one that you should have gotten away from. Sometimes it's the one that you had no business around. Sometimes it's the one that's going to bring you down. Sometimes it's the one that is not going to allow you to prosper. Okay? Now, I'm thinking about, did I ever... Oh, you know what? The one that got away, that really got away, we never dated. The one that really got away, we never dated. I didn't give him a chance. I didn't give him an opportunity at all. I didn't give him an opportunity at all. And I believe that was the guy that got away. I do. I believe that he was the one that got away. Because not only did I not give him a chance, he ended up actually married to someone not too long after he tried to talk to me. And they made the cutest little couple, you know. But he was probably the one that got away. But the thing is, I wasn't ready for what he was ready for, because I was not ready to be married in any kind of way. No kind of way at all was I ready to be married. So, but if I would say, honestly and truly, which one was the one that got away, I would say it would be him. I would say it would be him. Now, maybe we should use different things, not the one that got away, maybe the one that I really cared about, the one that I loved. Maybe that's the terminology that we might need to use, the one that I really loved. But to say the one that got away and that one had a whole bunch of red flags, no, we need to think again. We need to think again, because we're sitting here holding on to something that was damaged, something that was toxic, something that we ain't had any business with. That's what we're sitting here holding on to. And so we need to make sure that we watch what we say, what we put in the atmosphere. We watch, how we judge ourselves. Because, see, when we're saying the one that got away, that means that we didn't do enough in that relationship to make it prosperous. But we can't be so hard on ourselves, because really and truly, most of the time it's something that was about that relationship. Excuse me. It was something about that relationship that the relationship shouldn't have prospered. Okay, so we can't be so hard on ourselves and think that just because we cared about somebody and just because we still have a lingering feelings about somebody, that they're the one that got away. Because honestly, the one that got away from me is the one that I should never have been with. Never have been with. And I just feel like, yeah, he treated me really good, but he had some red flags. And those red flags were enough to make me miserable had I stayed with him. It would have been the worst relationship, the worst marriage, the worst everything I can imagine had I stayed with him. So really and truly, he wasn't my one that got away. He was the one that I needed to have let go, which I had no choice in doing, and I did. And then the second time around, I did it again. I let him go. So be careful on what we put on ourselves, the baggage that we put on ourselves, how hard we, go on ourselves. Sometimes we can just tear ourselves down, thinking that we did something that we shouldn't have done. And most of the time, yes, we should have did it. We should have let go. There are going to be some relationships that are not for us. We got to stop. We have to stop. We must stop trying to make these non-productive relationships work. Stop holding on to things that are not good for us and find our peace and be patient and wait for what is for us, because what is for us, and nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it. It's going to happen for us, and not just with relationships, with things in life, with positions, with cars, houses, children. What's for you is for you, and it's going to happen. And it'll happen one way or another. If you can't have children, that doesn't stop you from being a parent. It doesn't. There are ways around it, and we have to ask for guidance in how to get to what we want and what we need, what we desire. And also in a relationship, the same difference. We have to pray for the person that we want. What do we want them to come with? How do we want to be treated by them, and how we want them to be treated by us? We have to pray for that. We have to be specific even in our prayers. And this is one of my problems right there. being specific in my prayers, because I be afraid that I'm going to ask for the wrong thing. See, I have asked for certain things before and I received them, and there is nothing you can do when you get what you ask for. I asked for certain things and I was blessed with them, and then once I received it, I was like, man, I probably should have asked for this in a different manner, but I was rewarded exactly what I prayed for. So now I'm kind of afraid of asking for any kind of relationship, because I'm used to getting what I asked for, and I may not ask for enough, or I may not ask for the right person, or I may not ask for the right treatment. I don't know. So I haven't really been asking for anything, and everybody always say you gotta ask for exactly what you want, who you want. I can't ask for it. All I can say to the God is, may thy will be done. Whoever it is that you have for me, Lord, please make sure they got a nice smile, and make sure it's somebody that I can look at, and make sure he's tall, because, I like tall men. But, and then, Lord, make sure he's best for me, because I be so afraid to ask for what I want in a mate, because I'm used to getting what I ask for, and most of the time, I don't ask for the right thing. I don't ask for the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So be specific in what you want. When you're really ready, be specific in what you want in a mate, and leave those red flags alone. If that person comes and they have red flags, either you tell them about the red flags and see if they adjust. And if they don't adjust, it's time for you to go, because maybe somebody heard you ask for what you want and they sent you a copycat. It sent you a copycat. Because God knows that the person I say is the one that got away, really, I know deep down in my heart, he is not. He is not the one that got away. He's the one that I should never have been with. Yeah, or should never have been serious about. Let's put it that way. I had a good time. Whatever, I ain't gonna lie. I had a really good time. And a lot of times when you're young, that's what it's all about. Just having fun, having a good time. When you get older, you'll realize that all that good time stuff, yeah, that comes with the territory, but you, now you're looking for something more concrete, not just good time. So be careful when you're saying the one that got away, and then you start tolerating stuff that you shouldn't tolerate, and it's going to make you miserable. You start having episodes where they're doing things that are hurtful to you, disregarding your feelings, disregarding you as a total, and you're making excuses on why they don't give you the attention that you desire, or the attention that they first started off with. Red flags, because maybe they didn't mean you any good from the beginning. They were just trying to do what was best for them. Maybe you were just convenient for them, for what they needed, and so you couldn't see it because they were showering you with so much fake love that you just lost your mind in the loop of things. And then once you committed, you start seeing the real them, and they started taking advantage of your kindness and of your love and your affection, and now you are miserable because you have someone that really clearly shows you that they care nothing about you, and you love them totally, and you would do anything for them, and they know it, and they just takes advantage of it. Red flags, red flags, red flags. The one that got away is not who you should be with if they came with a bunch of red flags and baggage. Remember that. And then if you did accept this person, if you did, let's say, marry them or whatever, sometimes you gotta have to let it go. And I ain't telling nobody to get a divorce, but I mean, to what extent are you going to be abused? What extent are you going to be abused, whether it be physically or mentally? to what extent are you going to let this person tear you down from the inside out? And I say from the inside out because you're emotionally broken. You're emotionally broken. And it would eventually start showing on the outside. And so let's be mindful when we start thinking that people are the one for us. Let's not ignore the red flags, because I always say most of the time before we get serious with somebody, we have seen some red flags and then we listen to them and then we cover up and ignore the red flags. But most of the time we have already seen the problem, and then we go deeper and deeper and deeper with the relationship, and the problem just worsens. It just gets, beyond control, and until we just about to break, and then now we stuck, and we got to go through some procedures in order to get out of the relationship. Don't miss the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. Remember that you deserve to be happy. You deserve, and I say you meaning we, deserve to be happy. We deserve the best in life. We only have one, and we have to live it abundantly, and we can't allow anyone to have an abundant life on us. You cannot have a happy life on me, meaning that you cannot be happy with me and I'm miserable with you. No. You cannot be happy with me and I'm miserable with you. You're going to have to try to accommodate some things to make my life a little better, or I'm going to do bad all by myself. I'm going to do bad all by myself because I don't need any help to starve to death. Listen, thank you for joining me on Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love McSwain. If you don't take anything from this story time today or this talk story today, I want you to take away that everything that glitters is in gold, every relationship that we left, everyone that we cared about in a relationship is not always the one that got away. Sometimes we have to sit back and think about the red flags versus the way that we felt about the individual and realize that he is not the one that got away. He was the one that should never have stayed. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Make sure you love yourself, and then you can properly love someone else. Until we shall meet again, may you be tremendously blessed. Thank you for joining me with Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love.